5 mistakes that makes your cityscape look very amateurish.
Look at how much people want to get in, it's crazy. Over the last few weeks, I've seen many top influencers come here and do videos, and I thought I would share my wisdom, maybe, on how we can take this. In this video, I want to share the 5 mistakes that I see a lot of cityscape photographers or people just taking photos of nice things in a city do, to show what can work and what cannot work to get something epic and find really good photos, especially when there's a lot of people. Come on, mesdames et messieurs, my name is Serge Ramelli. I'm a French photographer from the amazing, from the incroyable, the beautiful, the superb cities of Paris, France. And I have published 7 coffee table books, and I've also got my work in 120 galleries around the world. And voila, oh my God, there is a robot coming here. Okay, the robot is gone. Mesdames et messieurs, come and follow me and let's see the 5 mistakes that a lot of people do when they do cityscapes or when they want to do something that's very iconic. Allons-y, mesdames et messieurs!
The first mistake is you come to a place and you just start taking photo. You got to plan a lot more. Don't take a photo, make a photo. Look at the angles, look at the surrounding, see what's going to communicate and tell the better story.
So I came back earlier today, during the day, to do all the scouting, but also to do some very black and white, really cool photos, you'll see.
Here's the 3 steps that I do when I want to take a photo. Number 1, I decide what is the story I want to tell before I trigger the photo. I decide, okay, I want to tell that story. 2, I look at what can be taken out that's not helping your story. 3, I look what can be put in that can help your story.
Okay, right now the light is absolutely horrible. So I'm taking some photos around, but it's not gonna work, I think. Also, there's a lot of people, so it's really hard to find a good composition. I don't know if I'm gonna pull off some good photos.
The second mistake is letting distraction destroy your photo. You know, if the story is about the Tesla diner, for example, which is a very specific kind of building, just don't photograph, take out anything that does not contribute to that story. The biggest problem that we have with cityscape photography is too many things in a photo. You know, trying less is more, less is more.
That's the photo to do. It's gonna be hard. That's probably a 3D rendering. This one, there's a big pole in front, and well, you have the street. The best would be to go to that building. I don't think we can, but usually when I have to shoot something like this, I like to walk around all 360, find the best angle. Right now, that's a mistake I see a lot of people do, is have like something in the foreground that just is distracting. You know, composition is about community, you know, one strong story. The story I want to tell is the Tesla dinner. So the first thing is, okay, what is it that you want to communicate? And second, what can you take out? That pole is really annoying. Let's take a photo. There's no cars right now. Yeah, the pole doesn't work for me. Let's walk around.
The third mistake that I see is very flat photo, no depths. You need to play with framing the frames, foreground, middle ground, background, or leading lines to get stronger photo that has more depths. Otherwise, your photo is going to look very flat. We want depths. Depth is everything in a photo.
Ça, c'est pas mal. This is a better angle because it's kind of cleaner. You know, we just have the cars. The poles are in the back. I just don't like that building. I'm not very happy.
The fourth mistake is to think that bad light equals bad photos. That's not really true. Right now, what I do during the day, I got 2 cameras. I have the Leica Q3 during the day, and you don't have to get an $8,000 camera like the Leica Q3. I just love that camera, where I do a lot of black and white. I look for leading lines. I look for strong contrast, and I convert it into a strong black and white like Alan Schaller, which is kind of the photographer I want to be when I grow up. Amazing black and white photographer. And at night, like the Batman, I take my Sony 7R5 and I take a lot of long exposure photography. In this video, I'm only going to use the Leica Q3 all the way. But it works with any camera. It's not about the camera. It's about bad light, go black and white. Bad light, go black and white.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my camera in black and white and I'm going to look. I'm going to go around again and see if I can see it in black and white and see if I can find a photo. So I go to to JPEG settings, film style, and I'm gonna go to black and white monochrome high contrast. And now the world is in high contrast black and white. Ooh, I like it. This view I kind of like more because it's very clean. There is no building in the background, and we have the shadows are a bit long, so you have all the Tesla cars as the shadows. This could be interesting in black and white. It looks interesting. Okay, I give you a trick. When the light is bad like this, and if you want to do black and white, I have a really cool trick. The eyes goes to the brightest spot on the photo. It always goes to the brightest part. So, for example, if I shoot here, and I have this beautiful sun there, what's gonna happen is the eyes is gonna go to the bottom of the photo. But if I go back here, and I shoot with this shadow here first, you see here it's dark. If I go low, then I can have shadow, light, and building. And then it gets a bit more interesting. Let's try this. The whole idea is to find something. There's always too many things in photography. So I'm trying to find something where there is nothing, just the building and the car and nothing else. Not people passing by, nothing, or maybe just one person. Not easy. We're lucky to, last time I came, it was so packed, I couldn't do anything. The problem is that there is too much light. I'm waiting for the sun to come down a little bit. Okay, now I like this one here because the sun is setting right there, and I'm trying to get the sun half in and half out, and I'm getting a lot of contrast in black and white, and I can play with the shape, and I'm gonna crush the blacks, and it should give something with my preset of black and white, which you can get if you click the link under. You get it my black and white and my color preset for free. Why am I doing this? Because I'm hoping that one day you'll come to my coaching or come to one of my workshops if you see the value that my presets are. I'm actually doing a book on London right now using this preset. So they're the real deal. They're amazing, they're incredible. You should get them, it's amazing. I love the leading line there. The leading line is there. I love how it's black and white. There is a photo in there. It's just so much people. I'm gonna wait for a moment where there's nobody. Or just one person to get the shot. It's gonna be hard. If I go up, I get the leading lines much better. I like that. And it's good for black and white. We'll do the color later when the sun gets down. It's gonna be incredible. Always look for, at first I didn't get any leading lines, but leading lines is gonna help to make the photo more geometric. It guides the eye of the viewer. Right now I found a nice leading line. I'm just waiting for people to move. Not easy. This is where it gets very handy to have a screen like this. So I can flip it and go like this to shoot here. I'm starting to like it. What I love, it's very geometric. The whole thing is based on the Falcon Millennium. You can see this is the floor of the Falcon Millennium. And look at this, it's crazy. So I want to use this as a foreground element because I'm too close, I cannot shoot it like this. So I'm going to use it as a foreground element to give depth to the photo. Either this way or the other way around. And I'm going to use this so I can really go here and shoot the photo from here. I think tonight it's going to be beautiful because there is some very nice texture in the sky. And we'll see how the sunset goes, but it can be crazy.
The fifth mistake that I see is leaving too early. Sometimes the light gets super interesting even after sunset. I call the blue hour the magic 15 minutes window. It's not the night yet. It's not super contrasty yet. All the lights are turned on and boom, you get this blue hour. Don't leave too early. Stay until the night and get the best possible photos you can.
And now is a good light, and now we're gonna do good photos. So you can see what happens with the bad light and the good light. But it's also about composition. Composition is hard. A lot of people are complaining it's hard. So you gotta watch this video until the end because you'll learn a few things about composition. So one mistake I see a lot of people do is to be too flat on something. You want to give volume. So right now I went on the side so I can have the whole scene volume and we have a beautiful light. Il faut vraiment que j'ai la leading line comme ça avec le truc. I gotta have the leading line that way and this on the right side. So I'm gonna take it from this. It can work. It's much better than being flat. You want to give depth. Depth comes also with the shape and the leading lines. I want the shape, I want the leading lines. Let's do it. Voilà. Look at how much people want to get in. It's crazy. We already came in this afternoon, it was not so full, but now it's very full. But I already got the photo from inside, now I'm gonna shoot outside. Honestly, the biggest mistake I see people do is shooting at the wrong time. I mean, look at this view in the afternoon and look at this view right at the blue hour. The blue hour is right after sunset. Sunset is over, and then the city light starts coming on, and you got a magic window of about 10 minutes. And now, because I scouted the place in the afternoon, I'm gonna go back and get the incroyable blue hour magic window. It is gonna be incroyable, it is gonna be amazing, it is folie, it is incredible. C'est comme t'as le rouge derrière, tu vois. I like that angle also because there's a lot of pink in the sky. I've been waiting for hours for the pink to come, and I was waiting for like a color on the screen. I had a big pink on the screen. These screens are huge. And so you had the red in the screen. I like this one. It's gonna be good. Incroyable. So I'm gonna try to take like a Tesla, a black Tesla as a 4:1 element. And then I want to do a panel because I'm shooting at 28 millimeter. So I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4 photos, wait for something sexy to be on the screen. And voila, and voila. Let's call National Geographic right away. We have the cover. Okay, and the light changes a lot, like every 5-10 minutes during that magic window. So I found 4 spots, and I'm just gonna rotate the 4 spot for 10 minutes to get the perfect photo. The perfect photo, okay? And make sure you subscribe to the channel. I see you are not subscribing. It is not okay. I make videos, you subscribe. It's free, just subscribe. And then you can get more videos. It's amazing, it's incredible, it's gonna blow your life. I promise you, if you follow this channel, if you watch the video and you practice, your photography will be amazing. People will call you, you'll become a star, you'll make the cover of magazine. It's gonna be success for you forever. All you have to do is subscribe. One little subscribe. Let's go, let's do it. Thank you. I love the red line that it does, the 2 red lines on the Tesla, especially the latest Tesla, they have a double coating, so they're more shiny. It's incredible. One of the reasons I love working with the Leica Q3 is now I'm at 1.7. I put my self timer on 2 seconds and it's got an amazing in-body stabilization. And I'm at 1/30th of a second. 1/30th of a second. 1/30th of a second can give you blurry shot. But if you use a self timer and you have in-body stabilization, you're good to go. And now it's getting very dark. It's the end of the blue hour. And I'm still getting very, very sharp photo at 100 ISO. That's insane because it opens at 1.7. If you have a lens that's at 2.8, go to like 400 ISO, or at f4, go to 800 ISO. But if I want to make a big print at 100 ISO, I get a very crisp photo. So the key thing is open your aperture as much as you can, go at 1/3 of a second if you have in-body stabilization. If not, go like at 160. Put on the self timer at 2 seconds. So you press, you wait 1, 2, and you take the shot. That's what I'm gonna do, but now it's the end of the blue hour, so it's finito. So make sure you download my new AI Cityscape preset. The link is under the video. This is the preset I've used to retouch all of this photo. I use it with my Leica, I use it with my Sony, I even use it with my Hasselblad, I've used it with my Fuji, I've used it with my Canon. I have all the brands, and this preset works. I've also used it on thousands of photographers during my coaching from all the different brands, and they work 90% of the time. Not all the time, 90%. But you gotta do the black point, you gotta do white point, and you gotta do the white balance at every time. Okay, make sure you subscribe, make sure you try out the preset. I'll see you in another video. Au revoir, mesdames et messieurs.